Folks, this is Ben Gussel. This might be the last video I make tonight. I know I've mentioned this subject quite a bit, but I think I still have some additional thoughts in this regard. These probably some newer thoughts about diets and plant foods and things. But I'm gonna try to mention other angles to this that maybe haven't got into as much. We'll try my best. There are people that get master's degrees and PhDs in nutrition. Just for what it's worth. So I think there's still so many things. I could probably make thousands of videos on the subject alone, and there's still things I wouldn't cover. But and then you have YouTube channels devoted to this subject. So this one subject, so I think it should be reasonable to put out some videos about this stuff here and there. But I guess, okay, I'll jump right into some of the stuff here a bit more in just a second here, folks. But, yeah. Okay. So first off, there's the question of when let's say you start out the day, okay, and you're gonna go shopping, and you make a list, and you go get stuff on the list, maybe a few things that you didn't on your list, maybe a few things you did have on the list but you didn't get. You get home, you put your food away, you do well, you did a good job. You didn't spend too much money, and you got a lot of great stuff. It's gonna last you quite a while. So then you look online, if you want to at some point, to see, okay, how did what I get? How did food choices, right? You go shopping. What do people think about all these things you got? And did you really get what your money's worth? What you got? I mean, did you get maybe? I mean, how well did you really do, shopping wise, based on whatever it is you're looking for, in so many different aspects, and so you hear all these different things, especially about nutrition and about getting a balanced diet and everything. And then you also hear all these different things about, certain kinds of diets that are a little bit different. And then you think to yourself, you have doubts about what you got. And I want to get into this a bit more and try to mention some of the things I'm going to mention in this video will have somewhat more to do with, more particularly, some of the videos that I have seen, particularly about veganism this summer. And okay, so here we go. So you make your list, your shopping list. I'm gonna start there again, and I want you guys to put yourself in this position. That I know some of you guys are in different countries. Maybe it's a little different kind of thing when you go shopping. Maybe you don't make shopping lists, but at least for some of you guys in the United States, other in Europe, and try to personalize what I'm saying here as much as possible. So you have a plan. Let's just say that on your shopping list, right, you have eggs, a dozen eggs. They might be organic, they might not be, but you have some eggs. You want to get some eggs, right? That's the first thing you have on your list. Let's say you want to get some bread, right? Let's say you're still open to get some gluten in your diet. That's okay. So you want to get some bread. Ideally, maybe some wheat bread, something healthy like that. So that's number 2. So we got eggs and bread. Neither of those things are that expensive. Next thing you want to get are some potatoes, right? They're cheaper, they're filling. They're nutritious. They last a while. So you want to get some eggs, some bread, and some potatoes. Then you want to get some beans. maybe some pinto beans and some kidney beans, something like that. So 2 different kinds of beans, 4 and 5. So we're doing pretty good so far. So the next thing you want to get, maybe you want to get some apples and some oranges, 6 and 7. Okay, and maybe some bananas. And these are all cheap things. That's 8. That's 8 things on your list. And then maybe you get some milk, and then you get some kind of cereal or oatmeal or something like that. Something to eat in the morning. That's a grain. So we're up to 10 things now. 10 things. We're only going to go about 20 in this list. I know I usually go a little bit beyond 20, but let's just stick with 20 things maximum. Some of you guys probably only get 15. Then you get maybe a few lemons, a few limes, 11, 12. So a little bit more fruit, and then maybe a tasty type of fruit, some grapes, right? Maybe, and maybe some nectarines, something like that. So up to 13, 14, right? We haven't really got much vegetables yet, so other than potatoes. So let's get some onions, a few onions. It's 15. And let's get some carrots, 16. And also let's get some maybe some celery, like 17, I think, like that. So let's just get 3 more things. Get some chicken, 18, and maybe some pork, 19, and some peanuts, and then as a 21st ingredient, a little bit of beef, right? So that's a pretty good list at 21. Some of you guys might substitute avocado for some of those things. Some of you might get actually another type of bean, or maybe you might get some rice instead of some of these things. Anyway, so that's a pretty average shopping list, I think. Or maybe some of you guys might get butter, or cheese, or something like that, and somewhere in there, or lettuce, or whatever. But that's pretty. I mean, I don't know. But most of those things I mentioned are not that expensive. Right? I didn't mention fish. I didn't mention walnuts or cashews or pistachios or like salmon. I didn't mention things like bison and boar and lamb and really expensive red meats. And I didn't mention, or it's certainly not mentioned. I didn't mention duck. Goose is just like Bill Gates probably eats goose. I mean, goose is. I've never had goose. It's just way too expensive for me. But okay, so let's go with this kind of shopping list, right? So we probably did pretty well. But some people might get flour instead of bread, make their own bread, with a little bit of yeast and a few other ingredients. Okay, so then you want to kind of see how you did at some point, right? Some people don't want to go there. Some people are just content when they're too busy. They just do other things. Some people don't want to bother seeing how well they did. But let's say you go online, and you hear gluten is bad for you, right? You hear eat more greens, but greens aren't very filling, and just and then you hear things like eat less meat or dairy, eat less dairy, or have less animal foods. And maybe animal foods are just kind of expensive anyway, so you just get some of it, but you don't get a whole lot of it, and you get more calories from fruit and from grains and from beans and things like that. And particularly fruits and grains, potatoes, starchy stuff and beans, and a little bit of meat here and there is great, to have. But maybe it's just, a lot of times that those steaks every day, they can get pricey, I know. So, then you also have people who are saying just eat all plant foods. You think that's, wow, never having any, never having eggs, never having fish, never having dairy or chicken or turkey or meat. That's insane. Right? That's pretty insane. It's not completely unthinkable, but it's pretty insane. So I guess I want to just mention some things that will sometimes help out here. It might help out. The first thing I should mention is that I think it is a very good idea to have several people that you're subscribed to on YouTube. I'm going to mention this one more time. I think it's a good idea. It's a very important idea to have several people that you're subscribed to on YouTube that actually have advanced degrees in naturopathic medicine or nutrition, botany and human health and biochemistry and physiology and medical things, the surgeons, their personal coaches. But you want people with advanced degrees that have different things that they're saying, but then when you take everything that they're saying together, it helps you to make really good choices regarding what you buy most of the time in grocery stores. Because you don't want to just have one person that you think is the best and you listen to them only. You could, but you have to, that's putting all your eggs in one basket. You have to, you're then just determining that this one person is the one that has the best things that they're saying, that really are the best things for human health. But you have to assume that is it. Because if you're a little bit wrong, it might negatively affect your health or your budget or your life in some way. Maybe not too much. It's always a question of how much. And would it be better to have other people listen to some other people that have a little bit other things to say? It might be worth considering, but for what it's worth, let me just kind of mention some things that might kind of put some of this in perspective. So, if you listen to someone that says, eat a bunch of garbage and only eat garbage, like eat a chicken pot pie with store-bought, like with Marie Callender's stuff, and have some donuts and some chips with not very healthy dip, and then have as many sodas as you want, candy for dessert, and then for breakfast have full fat whatever every morning, or have sugary breakfast cereals every single morning, or heck, just have whatever you want. Have really super salty, sugary, processed stuff, or Ida hash browns every morning, And for lunch, have, just, oh my gosh, Lunchables and lots and lots and lots of bologna in cold cuts and in sodium nitrate type meats, and white bread and rolls and biscuits all the time, and and then just keep eating hot dogs all the time, and just every day have this stuff along with sodas and juices and Twinkies and Ho-Hos, and then you'll be fine. Hey, you're saving money. You know, you're not spending much. You're going to these El Cheapo stores, just getting this stuff. Hey, it'll be great. Well, that's what you don't want to do is just do that, because what happens with these sorts of people? What happens with them? Well, let me tell you. Just going off of this conventional American diet thing, your hair gets grayer earlier, depending on maybe other factors. If you exercise a lot, I'm sure that's going to be a good thing. But if you have a very stressful life, like most of us do at some point, it's, stress can negatively affect your life, but you're not getting the nutrients that will help you with all the things that come in life that will negatively affect you. When you eat junk food and processed food, again, you're not getting all the stuff that can extend your life in the future and improve your health in the future. Long, long, long ways into the future. So you get people that, like men, bald, and sometimes it's genetic, but you're just gonna get grayer and whiter hair faster, and it's just gonna fall out faster. You're gonna get wrinkly skin, especially if you smoke and drink, and your liver's gonna be terrible. And if you overdo the cold cuts, especially, as well as a ton of red meat all the time, it's gonna be bad for your liver. Maybe not quite as bad as drinking a lot, but it's just gonna be terrible for you. And you're gonna, there's a better chance you'll get, sicknesses, maybe cancer at some point, by eating all these cold cuts and things. And you're gonna be miserable when you get older. If by some miracle you're still doing okay in your 70s, I mean, gosh, I don't know, maybe it's genetic, but it's just not the way to go, folks. This conventional American diet, when I say conventional, I mean processed food. Not the natural stuff, right? Processed. And more of it, the worse things are. But taking everything, there's a lot of things that factor into your health. It might even have a lot to do with where you live. If you live in Los Angeles, in the smoggy areas, if you breathe in a lot of unhealthy air over time, in the past, if you lived, say, in Birmingham or the English Midlands, you live next to all these coal plants, same kind of deal. Or I know Pittsburgh back in the 1800s. You know what I'm talking about? It's just, if you live in an area where there's a lot of pollution, it's going to negatively affect you as well. Or Fresno or something with all the crazy stuff they put in conventional produce. That sort of thing. The pesticides, right? So California is really kind of a little iffy there sometimes. So anyway, so I just would recommend that diet to anyone, even if you think you're saving some bucks. And the burger and fries diet, it's just no. Okay, so aside from that, let's say you're not doing that so much. You're getting some things here and there that are a little processed, but most of the food you eat is very natural. It's very natural, or maybe all of it is. So which of these diets that you hear about are worth considering more seriously? Which doctors, which people that have a lot of knowledge should you be paying more attention to? Okay. And believe me, this is something that's going to keep evolving over time. The knowledge we have in this area. Well, for me, I kind of mix it up with Dr. Furman, who advocates nutritarianism. And nutritarianism, as many of you already know, is a diet where you try to get the highest amount of nutrients and the widest variety of nutrients with the fewest calories. So you have tons and tons of nutrients that are in just less than 50 calories sometimes, or less than 100 calories. So maybe your caloric requirements for the day are 2,000, or maybe high, like 1,800, more, or up to 2,200 in that ballpark. Maybe you can go down as low as 1,500, or as high as 2,500. But it's probably averaging around 2,000 for an adult person. It's like medium size. So in medium, activity level, kind of thing. So if you have a ton of nutrients in like everything that you need in the day in less than 750 calories, like 500 to 800 calories, you got everything taken care of. For the rest of the calories, you can eat beef. Well, I don't know. Yeah, you could. I mean, probably grass-fed beef, but you could have, I don't know. You probably have some avocado oil with whatever you're having. You could probably have a few extra eggs. You could have ice cream, maybe. You could have some chocolate. You could have some additional bananas or some additional fruit. Heck, probably you can go over your requirements a little bit for nutrients and have maybe extra, I don't know, like potato bread or something. A few more potatoes than usual. But it is possible to meet all your nutrient requirements with very, very healthy foods in vegetarianism. So you could have some dark leafy greens, in particular, your kale and your collards and your spinach and broccoli. Those four, say, a combination, or some different ones, Brussels sprouts and cabbage and purple or red onion and asparagus or something, I mean, those things, broccoli and cauliflower, we're talking about like over dozens of different kinds of minerals and vitamins just in those dark green leafy vegetables alone. You add in a few seeds, sunflower, pumpkin seeds, or whatever, and some nuts. You soak them, awesome, and then you can give a little fillet of fish, maybe like a cheap little piece of cod if you want to. You don't have to get the full salmon, but an egg or two, organic egg, wild catfish, and round it out with some berries, maybe, or a bit of chocolate, like dark chocolate or something. You're looking basically at meeting. I mean, add on maybe if you wanted to, like a calcium vitamin D pill. You basically have all your nutrients right there. Yeah, I mean, maybe throw in some potatoes or something for some extra potassium or something. I don't know, and that's not really a heck of a lot of calories. That's all plant foods, mostly plant foods right there. And your eggs for iodine or some fish, or you get some dried seaweed in there or something, and choline or something. So this is gonna be a longer video. I apologize, but this is what nutritarianism is all about. You emphasize your vegetables, your fruits, your beans, your nuts. You take it a little bit easier on certain other kinds of foods. Maybe a little bit of fish is great. So that's Dr. Furman. Dr. Hyman is similar, but maybe more apt to add in a little bit more fish and meat, maybe, and no dairy. And then I also to round it out, I'm watching a little bit of Dr. Greger and Dr. Weil, the anti-inflammatory diet, and Mark Sisson and Dr. Glidden, as well as a few other guys, like even some dentists and stuff. That's my group, and I'm sure I might be leaving a few people out here and there. But I'm subscribed to them. I watch their videos here and there just to kind of keep current in some things. And I don't really. I mean, I might listen to some a bit more than others, but I think that's the way. It's a good way of going about looking at the way things are in the world right now in this area. If you stick with one person and one person only, gosh, Dr. Furman's probably you could do worse than Dr. Furman. I mean, anyway, nutritarianism, that's about as good as you're going to find of any recommendations for anybody who knows their stuff, But eating that low amount of animal foods can be hard. All right. So maybe Dr. Hyman might be good to check him out, some of his stuff. But Again, Dr. Furman's really awesome. He's really awesome. So, okay. So getting back to some other trains of thought here. And maybe I should make another video. I'll try to keep it all. Maybe I should do another video here in this regard. But so I've seen some vegan stuff this summer, like I mentioned before. They don't. In these videos, there seems to be almost like you know how a lot of times people tease weightlifters and stuff in this bro science thing, right? Right? It's no mystery as long as you need to actually lift a lot of weights over time to actually get bigger and stronger. You actually need to lift, right? So on top of that, though, you need to have good quality protein, but you have to eat your plant foods as well. And so there's a lot of things that make the bro science not really that complicated. But if you get to be a bigger boy, you do need more calories. So you're going to be spending a bit more money on cheaper yet still very healthy protein-rich foods. Probably a bit more on tuna. Just want to watch some mercury. Probably a bit more on grass-fed dairy. But that grass-fed dairy is going to be, and grass-fed meat, but that's going to be expensive. So you're probably going to go more with organic eggs, and a lot of people don't even go organic, but you should. But yeah, eggs and tuna and clams sometimes, and some cheap fish, but a lot of chicken probably, a lot of chicken, and things like quinoa and rice and potatoes or whatever, and some greens, and that's a lot of what your weightlifter diets are, but you're gonna be lifting a lot, and that's what you do. And you can get the protein powders if you want to, or whatever else, creatine, but all that stuff there's a realm with that whole arena, as you guys know, that isn't exactly healthy, but it's gonna give you big muscles if you, again, so long as you're working out a lot and feeding those muscles a lot of water and a lot of protein, and getting some other things like carbs, healthy carbs in there, but that's a different arena. It's not as really beneficial for you as much as the stuff that's going to help you live longer, right? Which is where the truly healthy kinds of things lie. So getting a lot of produce and water in your diet, that kind of stuff. Wide variety of foods. So these vegan channels are not always very helpful. They're not very educational. And worse than that, they're kind of tribal. They're kind of my side versus your side. So, for any vegans that are watching this, one of the reasons why a lot of folks don't take you very seriously is because of this ridiculous attitude you guys might have sometimes. Some of you guys, where it's ridiculous. And so many of us, of course, are very turned off by this sort of thing, and will become increasingly so long as a lot of people act weirdly. I mean, there was a restaurant in Canada, I've heard, that you had a bunch of crazy vegans that were, yelling and stuff at everybody and inside the restaurant because they had venison or something. Venison's the new kale. I've heard of stuff. It just is. It makes me just want to hide, right? There's a word that everybody likes to use. It's younger. It's very cringy, right? I will actually say vegans are often very cringy, at least online. I'll actually say that. I hate that word. You guys know I hate using this word, but I'll actually use it. I'll actually say vegans, a lot of you guys, not all you guys, so actually many of you guys are great, but a lot of you guys are cringy, right? Cringer, right? You guys are more cringy than cringer. You're getting me the 6 words that I hate. All right. So I'm going to make another video for what it's worth, getting into a bit more of, trying to help you guys alleviate any concerns you have about your grocery list or whatever. All right. Catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye.